Hello and welcome to Computer Science 20S. This is Liberty Basic Module 1. This is Lesson 6, Do Until Loops. Now a do until loop is very similar to a repeat until loop that you would have seen in Scratch. These are what we call an undefined length loop or an indefinite loop. It's because we do not know how long they will loop for. All right, so a do until, often you need to loop until a certain condition is met. Again, this loops for an undetermined period of time. This would have been useful in the guess a number game. In other words, keep guessing until the answer is correct, rather than guessing 10 times even if you got it right on the first or second guess. So the the syntax of a do until loop looks like this. You put the word do at the top, you indent a bunch of code that is to repeat, and then at the bottom of the loop you have the words loop until, and then there's some condition here, greater than, less than, or equal to, something like that. You should note that the code inside the loop executes at least one time because the condition is not checked until the end of the loop. So it will say do, it will do all this code down here, and then it will check the condition at the bottom. So it always executes the loop at least one time, we would say. So here's some pseudocode for the guess a number game. We were going to pick a random number, and then we're going to do until the answer is right. And I guess really this answer is right should actually be at the bottom here, right? So we're going to do the following things. We're going to get the guess from the user, we're going to add 1 to the guess count, and then we're going to check the guess against the correct number, and we're going to keep doing that until the answer is right. And then we're going to display the number of guesses to get the correct answer. So here's the code. I'm going to convert from pseudocode to code. So here's my random number generator. Number equals int of RND of 1 times 100 plus 1. I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 100, and I'm going to set my guess count equal to 0. I haven't made a guess yet. Then I'm going to do input, what is your guess? Bump the guess count up by 1, and then check to see if the guess is equal to the number. I'm going to keep doing this loop here until the guess is equal to the number. And once I've got it equal to the number, then I'm going to say yes, and then I'm going to tell you how many guesses that took. So I would suggest that you pause the video right now and type that code in, give that a whirl, see what it looks like yourself. All right, so hopefully you had a chance to type in that code. Here's the practice assignment now. What I'd like you to do is add to this example that I've just given you so that the program tells the user whether they are too high or too low. And it should be relatively easy. You would just put that right in here. You would just put an if right in here. If guess is bigger than number, then print that it's too big, else print that it's too small. So take a few moments and try to complete that. Pause the video. Okay, hopefully you managed to get that to work. Now I'd like you to attempt, this is hand in number 6, write a program as a starting point for Blackjack. Blackjack, of course, is the same as the game 21. If you've never played Blackjack before or aren't familiar with 21, please come and see me and I'll explain it to you. I'd like you to use a do loop until. The game is to see how close you can get to 21 without going over, and you should do until the user quits or busts, and to bust means to get a number bigger than 21. Go ahead and just use a random number between 1 and 10 each time, and you should keep track of the total of all your cards and how many cards you took as well. So just a very, very basic beginner Blackjack kind of beginner program that we're going to use in the future. Your sample run should look kind of like this. You would say something like your card is a 6, your total is 6, enter a 1 for a new card or 0 to quit. You enter 1. Next card I get is a 3. My total is 9. 6 plus 3 is 9. I enter a 1 for a new card. My next card is a 9. Now I've got 9 plus 9 is 18. And I decide to quit. I took 3 cards for a total of 18. That's all it does. We're not comparing it to anyone else's. We're going to do that in our project coming up. So this is just sort of the beginning stages of your Blackjack project. Hand in 6, you should start with pseudocode. Pseudocode can convert to comments. It's a wonderful planning tool. So write your pseudocode using apostrophes, and then all of that becomes comments. You don't have to add comments at the end. Your plan becomes your comments. It's a wonderful planning tool. You should get used to doing it. Be sure to do some error handling. If a person enters anything but a 0 or 1, you should not allow that. Back here, for example, if I, 1 for a new card, 0 to quit, if I put in a 3, it should say you can only enter a 1 or 0. So you're going to need another do until inside the first one to do that error handling. And if you have some extra time in your hands, if you want to do a bonus hand-in, you could write that previous program in Scratch. Okay, that is the end of lesson 6. Good luck with that.